because I used to get bullied a lot when I was younger, but I grew to about what the size I am now. I was about 14 or 15, and then I started flogging the floggers. Stephen Hartstonge. My married name is Tipene Toto, and I come from New Zealand.
Whereabouts in New Zealand?
Born in Dunedin, but grew up in Ranfurly.
Can you sort of talk about how that was?
It was a farming area.
Yeah.
Not too much social disadvantage in the town, but definitely a them and us.
Yeah.
The ones that had money and the ones that didn't have money. There was I don't know, there was a lot of bullying at school.
Yeah.
It was just the culture of the times, you know, survival of the fittest, lord of the flies. You either learned how to fight at school or you got flogged. It was as simple as that, really. But in my hometown, the crime consisted mainly of young guys in cars getting pissed and doing wheelies on the local football ground, or roaring around the streets in the middle of the night, getting chased by the police. There was only 2 constables, and subsequently I got a car, I started doing that too. But, you know, you're going through the normal angst of a young person. You don't know who you are, what you want to be. I wouldn't grow my hair long again, because if you had long hair you got a flogging. I was a scarfie by then, well, that stage, living in Dunedin at university, and you'd cross from one side of the street to the other side of the street, because some of the V8 boys were coming down the street and they'd give you a flogging because you had long hair. And I've been threatened by adults back in the day when I had long hair. People didn't like it. What are you? Are you Sheila? You know, sort of crap. So, needless to say, you know, bashed a few. And caught my fair share of bashings as well. It wasn't the only good thing about that time was the music. Every pub in Dunedin, there was 100 pubs in George Street in Dunedin. And beer was cheap. You could buy a dozen King Browns for $3.50. The flat only cost $7 a week. That's cheap. And I was getting 25 for one night's work at Big Daddy's Burger Bar in the Octagon. I was rich, man. I could afford the car. It's like even the same today. If you don't stand up for yourself, you feel like you're weak. Yeah, so I had more than my share probably. And because I discovered I was reasonably good at it, which is nothing to be proud of at all. But that was the environment. And there are a couple of people I'd like to punch in the nose today that punched me in the nose back then. I'm still looking for one of them. One day I'll find him. And one of the guys that used to bully me badly, I got a holiday job at a university as a rousey in a sharing gang. And all of us were at the pub having a beer. There's about 15 married guys in the sharing gang and this little white boy. And this dude that used to flog me at school unmercifully was at the pub. And he wanted to be friendly. And I'd had a couple of beers, so I give him one. And he sat down and cried, and I felt terrible about that. I still do, actually, because bullies are basically just weak people. And whilst I felt better when I did it, afterwards I felt pretty bad about it, really. But anyway, I think the bullying today, from what I hear from young people and parents of young people, was that the online stuff is pretty horrible because it's pervasive and it spreads far and wide. And you're not just being bullied by one or two or three, you could end up by dozens of people having a crack, because everyone's brave when they don't have to get a punch in the nose. So I think that's terrible. Do I think it's any worse? Oh, it's hard to say. You know, I saw some terrible cases of bullying when I was young. Particularly, you know, in early teen years, I had a couple of friends who were gay, and they got treated pretty harshly. And I think no doubt today in certain groups, it's still the same. But overall, I don't think it's changed much at all. I think you're always going to have some people who are weak morally, who are going to pick on people they perceive to be weak because it makes them feel strong. I don't think society's changed that much. Just the communication has changed, the mode of operation. In my day, they'd walk up and say you're a prick and lay one on you. Nowadays, they say you're a prick on Facebook and get all these people to turn against you. They're still cowards. They're just technology adept cowards. That's the way it is.